Today on From Atlanta to Nairobi.
I've had to create boundaries with family, siblings who I was once very close with, and getting to that point where I say, sorry, you're not welcome here.
From the U.S.
To Kenya,
Two women,
two continents, one
powerful
powerful
conversation. A show where we bridge worlds,
build sisterhood, and share stories that prove
we're more alike than we are different.
You're watching From Atlanta to Nairobi.
Of a new beginning. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Sorry, what is going on with my eyelash? Hold on. Hello, everyone, and welcome to From Atlanta to Nairobi. And I'm so excited today to share with you our conversation. Vivian, we've been talking about motherhood, we've been talking about boundaries, even, and also leadership. So I'm so excited to see where today's conversation takes us.
Yes, absolutely, we have. And I think what most people may not know is it's not always easy planning our calls. And I think I'm guiltier than Elyssa is. I think Elyssa is, she tries to show up on time, but she always has a lot of grace for me because she knows, you know, there's a lot going on. It's not always easy to organize the calls, but we've been doing it. And just to thank you, Elyssa, for bringing everything together. um yeah, so 2025 has been a year. And you know for those of us who are a little bit more mystic and we kind of like researching on a lot of stuff, 25 was the year of the snake, which means there was a lot of shedding, a lot of rebirth, a lot of transformation. And I think we're in the last stretches of that. Uh, you know, I I'm just gonna say, for a long time, I I had put my foot out of religion, and the reason is because I felt like religious leaders use their authorities to kind of control people. And so I got into exploring more about astrology and self-awareness. And I find a lot of people now actually even mixing the two. There's an astrologer I follow, and she's always talking about prayer, but at the same time she talks about astrology signs. And I mean, there's a lot. Some people brush it out completely, others believe in it, others believe in the power of the land, others, but for me, I always say the bottom line should be, how does something make you feel? You know, there's a book that's really popular called The Body Keeps Score. Yeah. And that book, you don't, whether you're in Kenya, whether you're in Atlanta, that book speaks, because all of us have seen, especially as you continue aging, even younger people, we've seen our bodies responding in ways that we cannot explain, right? And one of the things you kind of learn is, what is your body saying? When you're going through something, the first thing is listen to your body. What is your body saying? And you know well, we're just learning how to do that now, but I think this is also one of the most important times to do it, because I think around this age, between 30 and 45, that's when people are really putting time and energy into their careers, into their families, into all those things. So yeah, that's just like my brief layered intro.
Yeah. Oh man, there's so many things there that we can unpack, which, this won't be our only conversation. We'll be able to really take some time and kind of dive into these things. But one thing that you mentioned that stood out is a shedding. a shedding has to take place. And I think we've talked about some of that too with some of the, maybe there was some, I guess, things that we might have even learned from our families or even just culture that may or may not feel like it applies to us anymore. And I know for me, one of the things that I've been learning is to, really get back in touch with boundaries and also how does it make me feel? Like, how do I, sometimes we're just so used to being quote unquote obligated to people and situations. But who's to say we have to stay in those things? Now, yes, I think we can choose to learn from these situations, people, challenging dynamics, but it's like, okay, let me at least ask the question. Um, how is this serving me right now? What are some of the things that you felt you've had to shed? Like what has come off in this season for you?
My life path number was a double digit. I think it was 3 3 or something. I can't remember. And I think my life has been a process of shedding, you know. And no matter how much I try to lean in on, healing or inner conversations and keeping them strong, those practices do help, and there's a group of mine, the womb carrier group, and you're in, and we've been doing a gratitude practice for the last, today's the 20th day. Actually, I need to put today's up, or well, put something up. And the thing about gratitude, it brings life, you know and I think right now I feel like, I don't know, when I look at mm, doing music, I feel like that was one part of my life. Right now, the focus is just on staying strong, staying alive, um, ensuring that who I am keeps walking. And it's really difficult. I've had a series of difficult conversations this whole year, with different people in my life. I've had to walk away from a myriad of things. I've had to create boundaries with family, siblings who I was once very close with, and getting to that point where I say, sorry, you're not welcome here. And those things are hard, and they break you, and that's the thing that people don't know. People who don't like boundaries think that boundaries are easy for the person setting the boundary, but they're not, so just trying to keep my energy right, trying to honor myself, which is another layer, and feeling like maybe there are things I need to shed, maybe, um, and sticking to that, because sometimes you want to shed off something, but you still want a part of it,
Mm,
So being able to let all of it go, and, just focusing on what you need to be building. I think for me, one of the things is realizing, especially when it comes to relationships, um, I really need to completely let go of relationships becoming, how do I put it, like centering me, and
mm,
realize that I have to center me, you know, and that is unlearning everything. You know, most of us are born in families where people pleasing is the norm,
mm,
even if you bring a guy home who's completely wrong for you, as long as you brought a man home, he's going to be treated special, even though you're the one who's probably doing everything. to keep that relationship alive, you
The
know.
emotional labor.
So yeah, the emotional, it's called emotional labor, right?
Yeah, the emotional labor.
Mm-hmm. So those are hard things, Elyssa. They're really difficult. They're really difficult because, in fact, I was journaling today and I said, I think the biggest challenge I'm having is that I'm not only fighting for my own well-being, for my own stability. I'm fighting against systems that have been set up. So I'm fighting against the people who set up the systems. I'm
Mhm.
fighting against the people trying to uphold these systems. It's a lot. It's
Yeah.
really, damn. I don't know. I really I was even telling myself, like, if I was to speak to myself like a friend, like someone who really values me, what
Mm.
would I say? And I said, "Sis, you've been through it, you know."
You know, I think that's such a good exercise. If we were talking to ourselves like we were a friend of ours, what would we tell that friend?
I think I'd tell her her journey is unique,
Mm.
and it's okay when it hurts.
Next time on From Atlanta to Nairobi.
Sometimes